no one's had a bigger role, I think, than Milton Friedman, who famously argued in a 1970 New York Times article that the responsibility of business was simply to make as much money as possible for its shareholders. This Friedman view is just wrong. I mean, it's amazing that it has had so much influence when it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because once one moves beyond the case of charity, then companies often have a comparative advantage relative to individuals in preventing harm or doing good. Suppose you own a dry cleaning business. You can make more money by dumping a side product, a hazardous chemical, in the local river. Assume this is not illegal, but you know that people living downstream will suffer. Do you do it? Well, some people may say yes, but many will say no. In contrast to the charity case, the dry cleaner has a comparative advantage in avoiding pollution. It's much more efficient for the dry cleaner not to dump than what would the Friedman solution be? The Friedman solution would be, well, if it's profitable to dump, then dump, make more money, hand it to the shareholders, and then, if they care about this toxic waste, they can go and clean it up. Well, obviously, when you say that, it sounds, and it is ridiculous, because apart from the coordination costs, there's the simple fact that the cost of cleaning it up might far exceed the profit the firm makes from dumping in the first place. So the implication is that a socially responsible owner, or if there's more than one, owners, might decide to get the firm not to dump the chemicals in the first place, even though this does not maximize profit. Okay, here's another example. Consider Oxfam's 2022 proposal to Pfizer and Moderna, asking those companies to share the patents of their COVID-19 vaccines with African countries. So we think this is a nice example because, again, you could think about the Friedman argument. It fails here because the shareholders of these companies could, let's suppose they're quite socially responsible, even if they gave all the profits that the companies were making in Africa and said we're going to give it all back to African countries, that would not achieve the same goal as what could be achieved if the Pfizer and Moderna charge marginal cost for the vaccine in African countries. We know that because of the dead weight losses from monopoly, right? They're setting marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. And giving money to people doesn't change that fact. We've argued that companies should not maximize profit or shareholder value as the conventional wisdom tells us, but rather companies should maximize shareholder welfare, where shareholder welfare includes profit, but it also takes into account shareholders' moral preferences, how much they're willing to accept a lower financial return for the greater good.